And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The Milo gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Zwack.
A push from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Overtake iRacing League Xfinity Series, race number 9 of Season 1 here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway out in America's Racing Showplace here out in Concord, North Carolina. Good evening, everybody. I'm Alec Martinez, and alongside me is my producer and my co-commentator. I know it's been a while since she's been broadcasting, but Christian Hill is going to be alongside with me here tonight. Christian, we got ourselves a good show. Last week, Daniel Cunningham got his first win, and man, it was a heck of a race there last week at Nashville Super Speedway, passing him with the last 5 laps.
Yeah, it was, and I mean, it was just an exceptional race. Honestly, OiL Xfinity has yet to put on such an exceptional race, and it's just a great race. So I'm really excited for tonight. Charlotte is one of my more favorite speedways to come to.
Yes, it is. Charlotte Motor Speedway, 1.5 mile, a mile and a half racetrack. Going to be 20 laps here, so 180 miles of racing here. And man, this track, a lot of history, and right in NASCAR's backyard. There's been there's been just a couple of racers. Cunningham being one of them. The most wins this season has been Michael Kostek in the number 8 car. He's won 3 races. Won race 7, race 5, race 2. Tony Iverson won race 1. Andy Kurtz won race 3, and Jim Ott won race 6. And here's your point standings: Ott, Kostek, Cunningham, and I believe Alex Penn as well, who won 4, and Tony Iverson locked into the playoffs for the win in your in system. But so far, the points: Jim Ott, the points leader, 5 points ahead of Michael Kostek. But Kostek is here tonight. Ott is not. So I would assume that if Kostek can put together a pretty good race, he will assume the points lead going into race 10 next week. And man, it's going to be very interesting to see this race as qualifying taking place on the racetrack right now. But man, I think we're going to be in for a heck of a show, and appreciate all of you guys tuning in here tonight so far. And Charlotte Motor Speedway never fails to disappoint, put on a good show, and man, these Xfinity cars always tend to put on a good show. And here's your track info for tonight. Opened June 15th of 1960 with Humpy Wheeler, who was the track owner and still the current track owner at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and location right outside of a couple race teams' back doors in Concord, North Carolina. A 1.5 mile racetrack, 24 degrees of banking, and 5-degree banking on the straightaway, and a dog leg on the front stretch. And boys, I'll tell you what, Christian, it's going to be interesting to see if these guys start going high, wide, and handsome all over this racetrack, because we know it's in the sun, it's hot, it's slick. I would really love to see, hopefully, some multi-groove racing tonight.
Yeah, I think tonight's going to be, like I said, I think tonight's going to be a really good night. You can take it you could even take it 3 wide, but you got to be careful coming out of turns 4, going into turn 1. You kind of have that, you're coming out of that top part of the track. I can't think of the name right now. But you're coming out of that, and that gets real loose. You can get real loose going in, you can get real loose coming out. So I think if we're going to see any wrecks, any type of caution happen, I think it's going to be there is where we're going to end up seeing that.
Yeah, turn 4 tends to funnel down with so much of an angle off of the turn 4 wall, and the bump's going to be a big thing to handle. And we talk about, this is my first time broadcasting here at OiL, and you've been able to produce most of the races here this season, and it seems like, I think going into tonight, would you mark Michael Kostek as the favorite to win this race, even though he's won 3 this year?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know. I honestly, the last few races, it's been kind of a toss up between who's gonna take the win. We've seen Tony Iverson win. We've seen Michael Kostek win. Alex Penn isn't someone to kind of diss at. He's been really good. Even maybe Andy Kurtz. You have all of these drivers who are just exceptional, and I don't think there's a favorite to win tonight, to be honest.
Yeah, and that's what we love about racing, is just the parity that we've seen. And like you said, Alex Penn won race 4 at Mid-Ohio earlier this year, so he's shown that he's ran up front quite a few times this year on ovals and even the road course. And I know that's going to be, obviously, that's always a big thing to have diversity in your racecraft. And I know next week, I believe, is going to be, I think, a short track at Richmond, then on to Watkins Glen, and then regular season finale at Daytona. So a lot of different racetracks that I've seen on the schedule here, from anywhere from Michigan to Atlanta to Worldwide Technology Raceway in St. Louis, and there's just so many different variety of racetracks. And here tonight as well, lap 45 going to be the stage. Now again, haven't broadcast here. Is there a caution for the stage, or they keep it green?
There's a caution, yeah. So
there's a stage caution.
Yeah.
And so I'm assuming bonus point to the man. Is there a top 10 points, or just bonus point to the stage winner?
That's something I should probably know, but I do not.
It's all right, but yeah, schedule very, very good, and as well, the points, like we saw earlier, it's going to be very tight, and points, obviously, winning your in system. So really, pretty much getting a win kind of takes care of everything, as we normally see in the regular NASCAR series. If you get a win early in the season, I know it's getting late in this season, but the earlier you get that win, the less pressure there is to have to point your way in, and the less pressure there is to really have to, I guess, go and do something desperate. I know this year, listening on the drivers meeting, the truck series has had some issues, but I have heard that the race admin, I should say, he said, I don't have to worry about you guys, because you guys have technically, he said, you guys have taken it pretty clean this year. So I was like, what, I like to hear that. And hopefully green flag racing, and even with this first stage, 45 laps, that's usually a full fuel run, and that I would assume gets you kind of to know it kind of is, that stage is always a reset to what can I do different, what can I do better. If you're the leader, just keep doing what you're doing. But I think we're going to see a lot of guys moving up through the field from what I can see. I know Kostek is going to be up in 13th. There's going to be a lot of guys, a lot of movement. I know Andy Kurtz at the moment, I believe, has put it on the pole. And I think my last question I got to ask is are these guys working on their own setups, or they're working off the iRacing Fix setups?
I don't know. Honestly, like as anyone who's been watching for the past season, I just do the production side of things. So although I am here a lot, I'm not really involved with the actual series. Probably more less than I should be. Honestly, I should probably go and look at that. So I don't know that answer.
Yeah, it's all right. Vspeed over here, we've had a lot of things in the works, and I'm usually doing Tuesday nights, but out in B2DY, so a little bit different to come and do a different series, but always here to cover if I'm ever needed. So I'm glad you can have me here, Christian. Glad to have you here as well. And before we get going and taking a look at our starting grid, how about we take a look at our weather, as we already taken a look at our race info. So let's take a look at the weather here so far tonight. I don't know if we'll have that. I know it's going to be a little bit hot and slick out on the racetrack so far from what I'm seeing. And obviously, the new updates to iRacing. No rain. There's no rain to worry about, so no chance of rain to be rain shortened or anything like that. But 79 degrees air temperature and 111 degrees track temperature. And with these Xfinity cars, low downforce, we always know that that's a possibility of seeing, cars sliding around with aerodynamics, cars getting underneath each other, cars getting right behind each other. I don't think 30 air is going to be too much of an issue here tonight. If you're faster, hopefully you'll be able to pass around them. But I think 111 track temp, you're going to see guys slipping and sliding all over. And here's a good race analysis. As we said, 120 laps, stage at lap 45, the pit road, 55 miles an hour. This is one of the hardest pit roads to get on in all of the NASCAR circuits because of how quick you're going around the corners and then how tight of an entrance of pit road it is. Oh, we do have iRacing fixed setups. Okay, so it is fixed setups. That's good. And then we do have 2 unlimited green white checkered attempts if we need them, and 3 tire sets in the pits for a 120 lap race. That's not a lot, and I believe that's 2 in the pits and the tires that they qualify on. So that's going to be a big thing here. We know the stage. You're probably going to want to pit there, but that final stage, I think, is going to be something that you're going to have to look out for on strategy. If there's a timely caution, do you pit or do you stay out and hope for another caution, get fresher tires and everybody? I think that's something we're going to have to look out for here tonight as well, Christian.
Yeah, I think tonight, I think tires are going to be really important. Again, this is kind of a track that, in my opinion, I think it eats up your tires pretty quickly. This isn't the worst of the tracks, but this isn't the best of the tracks for your tires. So I think tonight tires are going to be, strategy is going to be important for these guys. They need to know kind of when and where to take these tires. But again, cautions can throw strategy out the window. And as I said earlier, I think coming out of turn 4, going into turn 1, you're getting squeezed. Those kinks, they're kind of changing how the drivers are taking their lines. It's gonna be tight racing, and I think it's gonna be quite interesting. But I think they just finished up quali, and
yes,
head into our grid.
Yes, we can. And the starting grid here tonight for race number 9 here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. On the pole here with a 30.560. That is going to be Andy Kurtz in the number 5 car leading the field to green, with Blake Hensley in the 31 going to be going up to the outside. Sorry, he had turned it. Andy Kurtz turned a 5 flat there, so a good lap from him, about 3/10 faster than the 31 car. Row number 2 has Travis Bieber in the 114, then Justin Ray going to be to the outside in the 38. Kyle May is going to be rolling off in 5th, with Drew Prail going to be rolling off in 6th. In the number 11, going to be rolling off 7th, is Dustin Reinstettel there in the number 11. Then Alex Penn, the Mid-Ohio winner, will be rolling off in 8th. Row number 5 has Tony Iverson, the Atlanta winner, in the 24. And then Cody Anderson going to be rolling off in 10th position. And Christian, if you want to go ahead and take row 10 on. Schroeder, I believe. Yes, it is. Making his first start of the year. Here's the 14 of GT Hawkins as we're rolling off down the backstretch. I got to ask you before we get going, as I always do with who I broadcast. I got to ask you, Christopher, who is your pick to win tonight? All right. Well, Mike not on at the moment, but it's all right as the field pacing into turn number 3 here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. The field going to be in the hands of Andy Kurtz and Blake Hensley, the 5 and the 31, 2 Chevrolets to lead the field to green here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And the pace car will pull off into pit lane and make the hard left-hand turn, 120 laps and 180 miles here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Pace car is off and into the restart zone they go. Green flag is out and we are underway from the Charlotte Motor Speedway as there's trouble on the front stretch already. Big incident happening, and now multiple cars going to be involved on the start of the race. It all started with the 80 of Drew Prail, and I believe they're still wrecking down the front stretch. The big incident to start this race is now we go live shot. Little technical difficulties there, but first caution of the evening to already start this race. An early trouble involving multiple race cars. Seems like a lot of them are going to come across the line. About the top 5 seem to get away unscathed, but then back there from anywhere, I believe Prail, who started up in the 8th position, excuse me, had some trouble there. And you see one car missing. I believe that's Tony Iverson, no front bumper, and we'll have to take a look at what happened there with the replay here from what happened on the start. And it just seemed like this track hot and slick. The track just looks like spinning of the tires there, and it caught a few guys off guard. You're good. And sorry for the technical difficulties here so far here to start off the evening. It's all right, but we'll get a replay to you very shortly here to see what happened on the start of this race. And again, from the perspectives of the broadcast booth, it just seemed like a little bit of the spinning of the tires in it. I think, like I said, I think it started with the 80 of Drew Prail as the cars will take lap number 2, and it looks like Andy Kurtz is going to get or will at least get the first lap led, and see if we have everything fixed. Gonna give it a little bit of time here as cars bringing it down pit lane to get some damage fixed as well. As we'll get technical difficulties sorted, we'll come back maybe with a quick replay, and we'll be right back maybe after a quick commercial break to get things sorted out here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
All right, welcome back to the Charlotte Motor Speedway after a quick technical difficulties issues and a early incident to start off. We'll take a look at what happened on the replay here at the start of the race involving a multiple car incident to start this race. It all starts with the outside lane. I believe that's the 38 of Justin Ray on the outside. Gets a great start, has to avoid from hitting the back of the car starting in second. The 80 car looks like he loses it, and I think that's when the technical difficulties start as cars kind of started scattering down the front stretch. And if we look around about the 80 car still, there was a lot of carnage there, and they still spun after the wreck. Tony Iverson was caught up in it, and I think a couple others as well involved. And again, apologies for the technical difficulties, but the 80s involved, the 42 involved, the 24, 15, 30, and even the 56. So about 6-7 cars involved in there, as well as, we were talking about the guy who's won 3 races this year, Michael Kostick, involved in this wreck as well. So a lot of cars with damage as the cars are back to double file, and we'll try to redo it all over again and get restarted here on lap number 5. And again, apologies for the technical difficulties, but we'll go back to a live shot here and pick up the field back, hopefully with a little bit less trouble, as the number 5 of Andy Kurtz is going to lead the field to green with Blake Hensley in the 31 on the outside and into the Geico restart zone. Back underway from the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and Kurtz, a great restart, pulling away from the 31 and the 114. Oh, into the wall goes one of the Ford Mustangs, and that's the 55 of Kyle Mace. Just taps the wall off turn number 2, but everybody keeps it clean and green. Andy Kurtz with the lead here, going to have about a 2-3 car length lead off of turn 4 to lead lap number 5. Then it's followed by Hensley, Bieber, Mace, and then it's about a half a second back to Tom Hall and Justin Ray, with side-by-side battle between Bobby Hall and GT Hawkins making his rookie start here. And here comes Hall to the outside of Ray off of turn number 2, and down the backstretch they go side by side here for the 7th position. And man, great racing so far to get these started as Bobby Hall in the 94 takes that position away from the 38. And yeah, great battling here. And that's, I believe, for the 8th position between Lucas Lyons and GT Hawkins going at it here as well. Lyons going to go to the outside in the 48 and get by the 114, but up at the front, it is the 5 of Andy Kurtz, then Blake Hensley, and here comes Travis Bieber looking to the outside, not going to get by in time. And it looks like Hensley holds onto the position, although Bieber not going to be willing to give it up as he looks to the outside and looks back inside. And here comes the 55 of Kyle Mace to the inside of the 114, trying to take that position away.
Yeah, 55 of Kyle Mays is looking extra fast tonight. He's right on the back of the bumper of the Travis Bieber, the 114, as he really tries to take it down the inside, but he's just going to hold it off. They have 120 laps to do tonight. I don't think anyone's trying to make any like super sudden moves right immediately. I think they're going to really try to kind of maybe relax a little, especially after that restart, or that start, excuse me.
Yeah, that start especially. Yeah, now you got 45 laps, or a little bit less than that, 40-lap run till we get to the end of the stage here to really get going. And I'll tell you what, who's moving is what I'm seeing is that 94 car. Bobby Hall Jr. is really moving up through the field. He's already up to 5th, and man, that 94 Ford Mustang has some speed in it. As he just got by Tom Hall in the 93. Lucas Lyons also was able to get by the 14 of GT Hawkins and has really worked his way up through the field. Those two seem to be the cars that seem to have the most speed so far, and Hall especially is running these guys down. Yes, he will. And you can see him using that outside lane, trying to get some clean air to the nose here. Using that middle to outside lane, will get a nice run off of the corner, and he'll kind of, with that draft on the front stretch, kind of suck up to them a little bit better here and close up to the 55 of Mason. He's kind of tagging a long haul behind him, although good speed from the 94 car, still the fastest car on the racetrack that last time, but Andy Kurtz in that clean air is going to be so crucial to keep the tires under him, and doing what he's doing so far has led every lap and continues to withstand about a 4 or 5/10 of a second lead over Blake Hensley in the 31. Behind them, really everybody's single file until we get to about the, I would say, the 12th, 13th place. Matt Greiner and Craig Schroeder were going at it there, and Greiner was able to just get by the 56 into turn 3, and now has pulled a little bit of a gap over Michael Cole. Currently, Tony Iverson, a ton of damage behind them, is lost pace with them, and then Drew Prail, no back bumper, no bumper cover on that number 80 Toyota Supra, and even the 8 car kind of just chugging along there, and Kostick with heavy damage. It's been a little bit repaired. They got the back bumper replaced, and I think the front bumper even has been replaced, but he's running a lap down, going to really need that stage caution and afford to not get lapped here, as he's already one down.
Michael Kostick, Cody Anderson, Alex Penn, Drew Pohl, Tony Iverson, all in the last 5 of this race. Those are some huge names that are stuck in the back right now. P16 through P20. Michael Kostick and Michael Kostick through Alex Penn right now are a lap down. So, other than that caution, I'm not sure how well this is going to go for them. I mean, this is some big points loss for them.
Yeah, and Kostick, who was needing a good run because Jim Ott, the points leader, is not here tonight. Right here, he might still be able to get the points lead, but it's not going to be as much as he'd probably hoped here. And right now, Bobby Hall was able to make a pass on Kyle Mays in the 55, and that 94 continues to just climb up the leaderboard, and now up another spot in the top 5. Although the wonder is he pushing those tires a little too hard, because there's still another 30 laps until we get to the end of the stage.
Yeah, you mentioned Jim Ott not being here, and I could have sworn I saw him earlier in practice as one of the drivers who was registered, so I'm not sure if there was some kind of technical difficulty for him, maybe if the car just wasn't working tonight, or if there was some kind of personal issue. But I could have sworn I saw him tonight, so that's also going to be a big points loss for him there too. So we're in the beginning of the season, but playoffs sneak up on you real quick, and if you want those points to be able to point in, you're gonna want to be here for every race.
Yes, you are. As the rookie GT Hawkins able to make a pass on the 48 of Lucas Lyons in the 48, and the 14 Toyota Supra moves up into 7th. Started shotgun on the field here tonight, and man, he's moved up 13 positions. By far, I would say the biggest mover of the evening, and some decent pace in that 14 car as well. So a lot of guys starting to, you know, make a note of everybody, saying, "Hey, we got speed. We're able to show it early in this race." And you know, once you get in the top 5, get cleaner air to the nose of your car. The better that car is going to handle, and the faster that car is going to be. Is another car exiting pit road. I believe that is Alex Penn in the 30 with still heavy damage. Is the man who won Mid Ohio in race number 4, not having a good day here at the oval of Charlotte Motor Speedway. Still decent damage to the left rear, as didn't have a bumper cover before. Now he's got one. So, unfortunately, not the race he was looking to have. Here is the 42 of Cody Anderson and Tony Iverson side by side. Unfortunately, not a position battle on the racetrack because of, I believe, Anderson 2 laps down. And even then behind them, about 9-10 seconds back, Drew Prail in the 80 car, kind of just logging laps at the moment. There's still no bumper cover. And how about this battle for the lead here? Blake Hensley closing in on Andy Kurtz in the 5 as Kurtz goes up the racetrack, and here comes Hensley, gonna look down to the inside in the 31, trying to take the lead. Almost a little contact off of turn 4, and at the start finish line, give the nod to Hensley. Hensley trying to get the lead into turn 1, and Kurtz doesn't really have an answer for him, and Blake Hensley gonna get the lead here at Charlotte on lap number 19. But Kurtz slowly but surely trying to close back up to him, but doesn't have an answer. And the Chevy Camaro of the 31 of Blake Hensley gets the lead, and right behind them, Travis Bieber in that 114 closing up slowly but surely, and they seem to kind of pull away from the 94 of Mays, or of Hall and Mays. So these top 3 only separated by about a half a second.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite things about this league, is just the amount of lead changes that end up happening within this series. It's astronomical. I mean, I get to watch a lot of racing because I do quite a few productions for different leagues, but I get to watch a lot of racing. And honestly, I wholeheartedly admit that OiL Xfinity Series has some of the best racing I think I've ever seen on this service. They are clean, but they are also really good. They're constantly just battling for the lead, just putting on these amazing battles over and over and over, race after race after race. So, and it's exceptional to watch these guys battle and watch Blake Hensley take the lead from Andy Kurtz.
It is. And speaking of battles, how about the battle for 4th between Kyle Mays and Bobby Hall Jr.? And even then, GT Hawkins has closed up to them as well. Hawkins has gotten by Tom Hall, and now he's trying to get us the 2-for-1 special here into turn 3. As Hall not willing to give that spot up to Mays, and Mays kind of pinned on that inside lane. Is almost a little contact off of 4. Hawkins really nowhere to go, kind of boxed in behind these two. He's going to back off the gas here into turn 1, see if he can maybe find a way around it. It seems like Hall starting to fall off a little bit more, but Hawkins loses the nose behind them, and Hall utilizing that outside lane to kind of keep the momentum and pin the 55 down and kind of take that side force away. As there comes Hall, going to get side drafted by the 55 of Mays, and Mays just going to inch ahead, but the momentum on the outside is going to carry Hall right back up unless Mays can clear him, which he can't, and they're still going to stay side by side, and Hall barely going to hold on to position, but Mays just seems to have a little more pace than the 94. Hall once again trying to take the momentum on the outside. He will be able to clear the 55, and Mays will have to retry that position again. And now Hawkins is going to start closing up to these two, as Hall just seems to be falling off just a little bit. Yeah, it's allowed Mays and especially the 14 of Hawkins to close up. And even behind them, 93 of Tom Hall, and then Justin Ray and Lucas Lyons are slowly inching their way into this battle as well. Could have ourselves a 6-7 car battle here for 4th. Paul continuing to just pull away, an inch away from the 55. And I'll tell you what, Christian, this battle for 4th here is getting hot and heavy early. And again, only 20 laps to go left in this first stage. A lot of guys, and especially here, if you're getting stage points, anywhere from 4th all the way back to 9th is possible to get stage points here.
Yeah, I mean, stage points, those little points, they all add up. The little tiny points, you're gonna get to the end of the season, you're gonna get to the end of you're gonna get nearing the playoffs, and that 1-2 point extra that you can get, that might give you the chance to get in. That might make you beat the person behind you to get into the last points paying spot, or points in the playoffs. Sorry about that. So those little points where you finish, no matter where you are, as stage caution, end of the race, they all matter.
Yes, they do. Stage points always matter. I remember last year in the Cup Series, I believe it was, or a couple of years ago, Tyler Reddick was just 2 or 3 spots from missing the chase, and it was all because one of the races he was in, he got spun out on the final lap and lost a couple positions, and those couple positions in points end up mattering in the chase. And it just shows every race counts when you have playoffs, especially as a battle for second on the racetrack between Travis Bieber and the 5 of Ethan Kurtz. Bieber going to barely get around here, the 114, barely going to get around the 5 here, and Bieber has moved himself up into second, and now he's going to set his eyes for the lead here, which is Blake Hensley in the 31, about almost a second up the road, about 0.7 of a second up the road. But this 114 of Travis Bieber is showing some speed later in this run.
Yeah, Travis Bieber always done well, always doing well. The Bieber brothers actually, is his brother in here tonight?
He is. Yeah.
Oh, he is. Brett Bieber. There he is.
13th.
Yeah, Brett's not doing as good as his brother there, Travis, but still doing pretty well. P13 can work his way up, and we've seen GT Hawkins is now P6, started P20, and he's actually fighting for the P5 there right now.
He is, and man, that 14 car is starting to show a little bit of speed. He's going to pull up to the left rear quarter panel of Kyle May, side draft him here into turn number 3. Going to have to pin him behind the lap car of Drew Prail on the outside, who's heavily wounded. It's going to get really, really tight off of turn number 4. He's going to use the 80 as a pick, and Hawkins is going to get around Mays in the 55, and Hawkins now inserts himself up into the top 5, excuse me, and definitely the biggest move of the race from 20th shotgun on the field to inside the top 5 in the first 30 laps of this race. Impressive stuff from the 14.
Yeah, that's just absolutely incredible. I mean, he's moved 15 spots in 30 laps. So every, I would say, averaging a position every 2 laps. That's incredible. He's just flying through the field right now. So although he wasn't on my radar at the beginning of this race, he is definitely on my radar now. And if he's going to stick with the rest of the season, I think he's going to make some real pushes towards that, towards maybe a playoff spot. I'm not exactly sure. I think there's, I'd have to go and check how many races.
4 more races left. So
oh yeah, probably not.
He's going to have to win.
Yeah, he's going to have to put in at least a win or 2. And yeah, he knows, and he's trying. I mean,
yeah, he's got speed.
Yeah.
He's got speed that can maybe get him the win, right? Last time he's on par with the leaders the last lap. Actually, he was the fastest car on the racetrack that last lap, and we'll see as he comes across the line that time, a little bit less fast, but still nonetheless good speed. And I'll tell you what, Bieber and Hensley are trading lap times back and forth, but Bobby Hall has found some pace in that 94, kind of searching around the racetrack a little bit, has found more pace in that 94 car, and he's starting to slowly but surely chip into that 1.5 second lead that Hensley had over him. Right now, the top 6 only separate about 4 seconds, and then the battle for 9th on the racetrack, Matt Greenier just getting by the 48 of Lucas Lyons for 9th, and the 15 starting to show a little pace, is actually involved in that first wreck and got a little bit of damage, but this time it seems like the car has decent repairs to it, and it has some speed. And remember, lap 45 will be the stage, and you get this field bunched up again, and we'll have a restart once again within the last couple of laps. I believe that's Bobby Hall bringing it down pit road. So pit stops before the stage. Question is, with the limited sets of tires that everybody has, is he going to take tires or is he just going to take fuel? But to me, it seems like an unscheduled pit stop here for the 94.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure where this is going with him. He missed his pit stall. Ooh, that's going to... he is taking tires.
Yeah, take tires.
I don't think he has any damage either, so this is a strategy move that they're trying to play.
Here comes Tony Iverson as well, going to come into pit road. Ooh, have to watch out here as Hall leaves his pit box and Iverson comes in for his services. Now Hall going to fall a lap down to the 31 of Hensley, and Bieber, and those guys have kind of pulled away from everybody. And the question is, we got Grenier coming in. We got Tom Hall coming in as well. So maybe these are scheduled pit stops for tires. Or the question is, are guys going to try taking tires here, or just take fuel only to get to the end of the stage? From what I'm seeing, Jack coming up on the 93, and I believe just going to be fuel only for the 15 of Grenier. So that's going to be interesting, the strategy plays, and I doubt you're going to see these guys take tires at the stage. Grenier probably will, because obviously the lack of tires, but I think he was involved in that first caution, and if he spun, definitely had to take tires. So curious to see, will we see Hensley or Bieber or Kurtz, anybody in the top 5, Hawkins or Mays, try to bring it into pit road and see if they have enough fuel to make it to the end. Only 10 laps to go left in the stage.
Yeah, this is going to throw a wrench on a lot of these guys' plans, because if you think about it, if everyone comes in on the yellow or in the caution, the stage break, it doesn't matter if you're in the lead, no matter what, you're all in single file in, you're going to come basically in as you came out. But now these guys are pitting early. They won't have to pit for this upcoming stage caution, so they're going to cycle themselves to the forward. If you're P1, you're going to lose that spot. It's all about the natural processings of how cautions happen, and that's why you have to kind of, if you think there's going to be a caution, if you think the guys ahead of you are racing a little too sketchy, you might not want to come in for pits, because there might be a caution happen. You may be able to get basically a free pit stop. Although it's all the strategy. I'm really interested in seeing how this works out.
Yeah, Justin Ray just got by the 55 Kyle Mays, and Mays is falling outside the top 5 into 6th. I'll tell you what, Bobby Hall, though, on those fresh tires, a lot of speed. He's about 2 seconds faster than everybody else on the racetrack. As you can see, the 94 is just going to blow by the 55 on those fresher Goodyear Eagles. And now we're going to see if anybody else is going to bring it down pit lane. I haven't seen anybody else try it. And the question is, are these guys trying to save fuel and get it to the end? Although here comes Drew Prail. Yeah, he's going to bring it down pit lane, and unfortunately, he was caught up in that incident, and that car heavily damaged, already 2 laps down. So got to try something, and if not, you just treat this as a test session. You know, if you struggle at Charlotte, this is a good time to get some laps down, get some lap times, or just even get some on-track experience. So, unfortunately, not the night the 80 was hoping for us. He's going to take 4 fresh Goodyears and 6 laps to go in the stage. The question is, are these leaders going to be able to make it on fuel? And maybe the strategy calls, like you said, try to not pit, but the question is, that's going to change up your second stage strategy as well. So interesting to see what happens here, but right now Blake Hensley, man, he is setting sail in front of the field, about almost a 2-second lead over Travis Bieber in the 114.
Right, like you said, I mean, they may not pit. They may not pit the caution because they're pitting now.
Prail's spinning off of turn 4 and now spinning into pit road. In a moment there for the 80 car, it looks like he got up under the apron and spun. We're going to replay that shortly. But, yeah, he looked like he got on the apron, and like you said, no caution. We stay green. Only 10 cars left on the lead lap, so it would have trapped a lot of guys a lap down. But, yeah, big moment from the 80, and the 80's night goes from bad to worse. And now we'll take a look at the instant replay as he was coming out of pit road. Had the fresher tires. And yeah, coming out of pit road here. Was trying to get around the 114. The driver running says Travis Bieber. And again, fresher tires has way more grip. And you can see, and again, coming out of pit road, he's on cold tires. Gets a little bit too low here. He'll try to go under the apron here. Just gets under that blue line, and that car comes right around from him. Luckily, no caution, so everything stays good, and we keep it green. And I'll tell you what, though, Andy Kurtz, Travis Bieber bringing it down pit lane. Getting just fuel here, it seems.
Yeah, you don't want to touch that inside. You don't want to touch the apron.
Hensley. Yeah, you don't. Hensley's going to come into pit road as well. May stays out. Hawkins stays out. And, man, it's going to be interesting. I think with Bobby Hall's strategy, especially being on 8-lap fresher tires while Hensley was making stops, it's going to be interesting to see if he beat Bieber and he beat Kurtz out of pit road. So we'll see here. And maybe that tire strategy was to get himself to, although look at Hensley taking tires. So looks like he'll probably stay out at the end of the stage, or at the end of the stage is Hall is going to get by him. And now the top 6 are still out on pit road, have yet to pit, and the question is, do the pits close in the next 2 laps, and can these guys make it to the stage on fuel? As Hensley's got to be careful merging out of pit lane and not get a penalty for going over that blue line. Ooh, that's cutting it close.
I think
Bieber's going to beat him.
A big move, a big strategy move.
It is. Now he's got to take care of these tires, nurse these tires here for this stage, and see what he can do. But now the question is 2 laps to go in this stage, and you can see those fresh tires, how much more they mean. Going to help him get some positions here as we're going to have 2 laps to go in the stage as Hensley gets by Kurtz in the 5. And right now, I mean, you look at the field, GT Hawkins from last to first, leading a couple laps. Can he make it to the end of the stage on fuel? And if he does, he's going to trap a couple guys a lap down, like the 56 of Schrader, the 38 of Reyes. Oh, man, Hawkins, big moment there as the 56 of Schrader going to get Schroeder going to get around him. And now that puts 13 cars on the lead lap, and it seems like Justin Ray still a lap down here as he's closing up on him. So here we go, 1 lap to go in the stage, and Hawkins gonna get chased down though. You don't look now. Lucas Lyons closing up on him as, man, seems like he's falling off the pace now. He might be out of fuel in the 48.
Yeah, I mean, GT Hawkins of the 48 out of fuel.
Or he backed off significantly here, as you know, not too much left in the tank here. Hawkins starting to really, I mean, I think it's the pace. Hawkins slow. 48 of Lions slowing down, and caution on the racetrack, and I believe that is going to be the stage here. And GT Hawkins, from last to first in his rookie outing, going to win stage 1 here at Charlotte, and the field will bunch back up. Daniel Cunningham got second, though. I'm not sure if there was a caution for an incident. It seemed like a little prematurely came out, but nonetheless, GT Hawkins, stage 1 winner. Daniel Cunningham in second, then Lucas Lyons third, Brett Bieber fourth, Dustin Weinstedel in fifth, Bobby Hall Jr. comes home sixth with Tom Hall seventh, Blake Hensley in eighth, Travis Bieber ninth, and Andy Kurtz going to come home in the top 10 of the stage. And we'll see everybody come down pit road here. And I'm assuming the 1408 last week's winner, Daniel Cunningham, the winner at Nashville. I've got to think the 14 doesn't have fuel left in that car. And look at him sputtering here. Yeah,
I think the 48 did run out of fuel.
Oh.
He was clutching in. Yeah, he's trying to coast it in.
And that's stacking everybody at pit road. Cunningham's going to get by. Contact between the 30 and the 48. 48's going to have to avoid him. Yeah, it looks like
the 14 out of fuel. He's getting pushed by the 30 or the teammates.
Yeah, the 14 is out of fuel, I believe, and he's going to barely get into his stall. And, man, a lot of fuel different things going on here, and everybody bringing it down pit road. So I'm assuming you'll see a couple guys top off on fuel and some guys get 4 tires. So interesting to see. Yeah, and Hensley going to get the race off of pit road and just take fuel only. And everybody else, I believe, is going to take 4 tires. If you look at guys like Kurtz, guys like Bieber, they try to push it on fuel. They end up coming back in and getting fuel. They're going to lose a couple spots and a little bit of track position, but they will have fresher tires than the 31 of Hensley, who had to run a couple green flag laps. So interesting to see. Daniel Cunningham, last week's winner at Nashville, going to come out second. Justin Ray third. Lucas Lyons fourth. Then Brett Bieber, Rain Stedel, and then Travis Bieber, then Andy Kurtz, Tom Hall, and Bobby Hall Jr. going to come out of pit lane in the top 10. But as the first stage has concluded from the Charlotte Motor Speedway, let's get a quick word from our sponsors and a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back for the restart here of stage number 2 for the OiL Xfinity Series.
Here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Marty's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh! Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it on
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we're back.
All right, back live here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Blake Hensley and Daniel Cunningham going to be the top two here as the field going to be bunched back up here for a restart. And we were talking about it, is loving the new Vspeed graphics here. You can see the scoreboard, or I shouldn't say scoreboard, but the leaderboard, if you so will, and our fields going by here on the top of your screen. And we were talking about under caution, Blake Hensley's move was the fastest car that last run. Pitted, took tires before the end of the stage, got back out. Then when the stage caution happened, it brought it back down pit lane, topped off on fuel, and regained the lead of the race. And Christian, you were telling me that was the move. And I got to ask you, do you think it's going to pay off here and keep that lead?
Yeah, I do. I think that was a brilliant move. All he came in early. So like I was saying before with the caution, I mean, all he had to do was come in for the pits, grab some gas, and then go.
Yeah, and it looks like it was a good move and into the restart zone. A little bit of carnage at the start of this race. Let's see if they'll keep it a little bit cleaner here to start off this second stage. Green flag back out. Hensley gets away. There's a little bit of spinning of the tires behind him, but nonetheless, everybody keeps it all right and straight. And Hensley driving away, and the battle is for second between Lucas Lyons and Daniel Cunningham. And then Dustin Reinstedel and Andy Kurtz going to be battling there as Lyons going to get to second. Cunningham falls to third, and then it's side by side for fourth there between Reinstedel and Kurtz. And now look at this. Looks like Hensley can't keep the throttle down, and here comes Lucas Lyons to the outside. Lyons going to try to get the lead, and he will get the lead and lead the lap, and Lyons in the 48 gets the lead into turn number one. And Cunningham going to get to the outside, and we're talking about him taking tires, running those couple laps under green. Is this going to be the price he has to pay here? Just lost the lead there into turn three. Didn't seem to have the grip. As all this contact, Cunningham gets turned up the racetrack. He goes in front of the field, and he gets hit by the 32 of Bieber, and Bieber slides to the inside, and the caution comes out as Blake Hensley made contact to the 08 of Daniel Cunningham, and the third caution of the evening falls as it happens up front. And man, oh man, it seemed like an aggressive side draft gone wrong. And a great save from everybody, although I think Bieber gonna get a little bit of damage there, and Cunningham not gonna be too pleased. We'll take a look at the replay here on the Vspeed Instant Replay. It looks like Hensley tried to side draft, kind of got too aggressive with it, and just hit Cunningham into the corner. And then, there was some contact there between the 11. I believe that was Reinstedel, and I'm not sure who the green car was. I want to take another look at I think it was Bobby Hall in the 94 got into him. And down the backstretch here, it just seems like the 31 misjudges it, clips the 08 in the left rear quarter panel, goes up the racetrack and really in front of the entire field. And then, yes, Bobby Hall really just whacks the 11 of Reinstedel. And then the 32 of Bieber really has nowhere to go where the 08 was, and Bieber goes around, and then the caution comes out. So another incident to begin this second stage off. Question is, any guys going to come in top off on fuel? Justin Ray going to be one of those guys, and Christian just looked like an aggressive side draft from Blake Hensley there.
Yeah, I mean, you're just driving way too close to each other. You know, on that bottom, it's something that happens going into Charlotte, or going into these corners in Charlotte. You just get a little too close. That corner, you slides you up just a little bit, and you get into each other right there, and you get a spin.
Yeah, and it just seemed like that wreck looked like it should have been a lot bigger than what it was. That wreck should have been a lot bigger than what it was, and everybody keeps it clean and green. And how about Lucas Lyons getting the lead? And you know what? We haven't done it here today. And you know, how about we pull in our race leader, Lucas Lyons, and see what he's thinking here. Lucas Lyons, Alec Martinez, Christian Hill in the Vspeed booth. You got a copy, buddy? Lucas Lyons, Alec Martinez, Christian Hill in the Vspeed booth. You got a copy, buddy? I don't know if Lucas has us.
I don't think he does.
It's all right. It's like I don't know if he had us or not. And you know what? All right. Hey, it was worth a try. And let's see. Maybe we have Andy Kurtz. I don't know. Are the pace car lights still? They are. Cool. Let's see if I can get our second place running driver here. Andy Kurtz, Alec Martinez, Christian Hill in the VC booth. You got a copy?
Hey guys, what's up?
Nothing much, man. Well, you're running in second. You seem like you've had a good car. You started on the pole. You've led 18 laps. How are you feeling here for this second stage? It already seems to be off to a crazy start.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, tire fall off is huge here. So yeah, I just burned my stuff up a little bit too much. Being leader last run, I was probably in the best spot to not burn my stuff up, being the leader and controlling the race, but I still managed to do it. So definitely learn a bit. So just try to do a better job of that this run. But I think we'll be good.
Well, the 31 seems like he has the fastest car here on the long run so far. He's now got the penalty, going to have to go all the way to the back. Do you feel like maybe you have enough to go out here and get that second win of the season?
Yeah, sure hope so. Yeah, I mean Blake was really good that first run. Travis was really quick too over long runs. So I think he'll be the car to beat for sure if this goes green.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time there, Andy. Love the helmet, by the way. Loving the Dale helmet. That's beautiful.
Thanks, man.
No problem, man. Well, good luck with the rest of this race, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again here once it's all said and done.
Yep, hope so. All right, thank you.
Thank you. That's Andy Kurtz, the driver in the number 5 Chevrolet Camaro, running it in second. As I believe the pace car lights are going to shut off here, and we'll get going here once again, and they do. So, yes, we'll double them up once again, and I'll tell you what here, Christian, these guys have been really, really aggressive, at least at the starts. We saw at the beginning of the race a lot of contact and a wreck on the start of the race, and now it seems like we're going to be in an interesting spot. And I will say, with that caution coming out, Michael Kostek is back on the lead lap in the 8 and 12th.
Yeah, he is. He's made his way back up to the 12th. Who else? We also see Tony Iverson back in the 10th. So a lot of those guys who got kind of knocked out early, I think with the exception of Cody Anderson and Alex Penn, I think they're really starting to make their way back to the front of the pack and making their way back into the race. And I mean, they're back here to race. We're not even halfway yet. We have 5 laps until halfway, and so I think they'll have a good chance at making their way into the front of this pack.
Yeah, I think they will, and it's going to be interesting to see how much of a factor they play into this race. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens, and if we get another long run here. And the question we were talking about under caution as well, you know, when are you going to want to pit? When is going to be the right lap to pit? We've seen 30 to maybe 40 laps on fuel at the most. If stretching it to 45, you're really going to have to save. So be interested to see what the different tire strategies are, and as well, because only one more set laying in the pits for a couple of guys, and some are already out here as the pace car has pulled off. And Lucas Lyons, Andy Kurtz going to lead us to green. Is a little bit of a stack up in the middle of the field, but everybody gets it going here, and Lyons is away with Kurtz, and then Grenier in the number 15, and then it's Bieber and Hawkins, the top 5, and then it's a battle side by side for the 6th position between Tom Hall and Kyle Mays in the 55. As they're side by side at the corner, Mays, the big run from the outside, going to go underneath Hawkins here for 5th.
Hawkins really making some good moves
get
there.
It. And May's going to get that spot away as Tom Hall and Tony Iverson as well back on the lead lap in that 24 car. Said he was a fan of Charlotte earlier, and now here he comes to the inside of Hall. So Iverson poking up the field as well, and into turn number 1, he'll get that spot away from Hall, and here comes Bobby Hall in the 94, that green car, and Daniel Cunningham behind him starting to work themselves up through the field as well. Iverson going to get really close to the 93 here, try to pull him back into turn number 3. And he's going to stay there, but he's going to get kind of pinched down and not going to be able to do it here. But the 93 going to get to the outside of Hawkins here. And that battle right for the 6th position, about a half a second behind the top 5 car and Kyle Mays. And look at this, Tom Hall on the outside utilizing that momentum, and it looks like the 93 going to clear the 14 off of turn number 2, and he does. And look at this, Bobby Hall and the 94 going to go down to the inside of Tony Iverson, and Bobby Hall sends it into turn number 3, almost gets into the back of Hawkins there, and now Iverson gets to the outside of the 14, just going to get there off of turn number 4, and a battle inside the top 5, the 55 of Kyle Mays underneath Travis Bieber in the 114, and battles all over this racetrack. Bieber now utilizing that outside lane around the 55 of Mays and trying to get around Grenier, as almost a little contact there. No contact near the wall goes Hawkins. Hawkins into the outside wall, and now Iverson crosses over to the inside behind them. But this battle for 4th here between Mays and Bieber, and then right in front of them is the 15 of Grenier. And man, these guys really starting to fight for track position here.
I don't know if it's if I'm eating my own words because strategy isn't playing off for him, or if that maybe he has some damage left over from that wreck. But Blake Hensley down in P12, not doing so high. After that good strategy, he gets what?
Bieber gets the wall.
Bieber gets the wall. Yeah.
It looks like he did. And now up front, the battle for the lead. Here comes Andy Kurtz looking to the inside of Lucas Lyons. Lyons holds on to the position off of turn number 4. And look at this. We got 6 cars under a second in about 7/10 of a second separating them. Single file here battling for the lead. It's Lyons, Kurtz, Grenier, Mace, Bieber, Hall, all battling for this top spot. Looks like Kurtz looking to the inside, but here comes Grenier looking to the inside with the run. Here comes the 15, going to pull back the 5, looking for second, and this is exactly what Lucas Lyons wants to see behind him, although the 48 kind of falling off a little bit on pace, and Grenier going to get just pinched off of turn number 4, and the 5 going to clear. Kurtz holds on to second. Lyons holds on to the lead, and here comes Kyle Mays in the 55, looking to the outside of the 15. Battles all over this racetrack. Lyons looks like he can't hold on, and that moves Kurtz, the pole sitter, to the lead as there's contact for 3rd. Grenier saves it. Contact with Mace in the 55, and here comes Bieber and Hall to try to capitalize. Man, what a save from the 15.
We'd already seen that happen once before, and I thought we were about to see it again. As the 15 was about to clear himself, or 55 was about to move over, and cause a wall-to-wall contact there.
Almost looked like a right hook going to happen there. And it looks like that 48 of Lucas Lyons just starting to fall off there in the 48. And now the 15 of Grenier's really starting to close up here. And I think he might have something for the 5. We tried to pass him when the 5 was dealing with the 48. But right now the 15 has a little bit of pace here. And behind them for 5th, looks like Tom Hall and Travis Bieber going to go at it here for the 5th position. And look at the lines getting used. You got guys going all over this racetrack trying to find grip in these race cars. So that track temp's got to be hot. I'm curious to see. Oh, it looks like the 55 of Mays hits the wall. They all save it though. No caution there, and not going to be an incident so far. But man, this top 10 is really just shaping up to be an interesting fight. Look at this. Tony Iverson around the outside of Bobby Hall Jr. And Iverson has moved up into 7th, and Kostick has moved up into the top 10 in 9th. And my Lord, ladies and gentlemen, we got about 9 cars separated by a second and a half. And tell you what, it's going to get pretty wild here coming to the end of it.
Yeah, unless you can. That's one of the great things about Charlotte Motor Speedway is, you can kind of just go wherever you want. You can go up high, you can go down low, you can, you could stay right on that blue line. I mean, I think the preferred line is as slow as you can, even actually trying to grip onto that white and blue line, because some say it gives you extra grip, it actually pulls you down. But as you do that, you're just going to wear your tires out even more and more. So it's all about how you want to do the game and what you're doing actually at the moment. Are you trying to pass someone, or are you just trying to save your tires? Is where you're really going to run your car.
painting that white line is usually a big thing, or as they used to say, harvicking is really the way to go here at Charlotte to save those tires. And I'll tell you what, Tony Iverson has got some pace in that 24 car. He has moved up to 6 now. Behind them, it is a battle between Tom Hall, Bobby Hall, and the 8 of Michael Kostic. There is Kostic has moved up through the field, and there Bieber and Mays, and it seems like the cars that tend to do better on the long run are really starting to move up through the field. And Kostic was involved, and Iverson, I should point out, were involved in those wrecks. Look at GT Hawkins going to the inside of the 8, but man, there's just battles all over this racetrack. It's 3 wide there for the 7th position. It's going to get really tight as there's contact. Oh, and Hawkins goes into the wall. Hall slams the outside wall in the 93, and Hawkins and Kostic make contact in the 93 with heavy damage and even suspension damage. Probably night over, and no caution going to come out for this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get a quick replay of exactly what happened, because the 93 there, he looks like he's done. I think he actually has a broken. It looks like a left front broken
control
wheel.
arm for sure.
Yeah.
I think he's got a right front suspension and left front suspension. All the suspensions probably killed on that 93 car. That car hopping around there. And unfortunately, night over for Tom Hall, who was having himself a really good run inside the top 10.
Well, I don't know if the steering wheel actually moves.
I don't know if the steering wheel's straight. We'll see though, but maybe it's not moving. But yeah, that car, you can see it bouncing in the corners. The car definitely has heavy damage. And night over there for Tom Hall. Take a look at the replay here. See what happened. They got 3 wide. Hawkins had a big move off of turn number 2 to take them 3 wide. Kostic tried to force the issue in the middle. I don't think Hall was aware they were 3 wide, and then there was contact there and just nowhere for the 93 to go there as he gets squeezed in the outside wall and then just slams it with the right front. So unfortunately going to be the night over. As you can see, the 31 of Hensley going to thread the needle there, and Hall brings it down to pit road. Unfortunately, going to be night over here. And up at the front, though, Travis Bieber still trying to find a way to get around Kyle Mays in the 55. And Bieber really going to sit into the inside there. Gets tight here now. Mays doing a great job holding him off here, but man, they guys are getting really close and almost getting physical off these corners as Tony Iverson is closing up on these guys.
Tony Iverson really trying to kind of making that push. I mean, he was back, I think, almost a lap down in the very beginning, but throughout that, he made his way back through the caution. And he was able to kind of get his pits, get himself situated and set up, and now he's P6. He's making his way back, and you know, he's right on the bump. He's right on the bumper, the 114 of Travis Bieber.
Yeah, not too bad of a recovery here so far for the 24s. He closes up on the left rear of Bieber. He's not going to get there unless Bieber can shut the door on him here. He's just clear, so now he'll look to the inside. And both these guys are kind of getting held up by the 55 of Mays here, who's doing a good job kind of giving him dirty air here. And look at this. Iverson just going to have to back out of the gas there without getting into the 114. Although here comes Bieber with the run. Going to look to the inside of Mays and try to see if he can side draft him and get by him into turn number 3. He'll send it into the inside. Going to try to hook that white line. Gets into the gas a little early. Going to get tight underneath of him. Lose that side force. And the 55 not going to go away. You're going to stay on his door. Pinch him in the corner. Make sure he can't get off the gas and carry that momentum.
Kyle Mays giving his best Magnussen impression here, putting his elbows out as wide as possible, trying to make his car as wide. Ooh, just a little bit of contact, little side-to-side action right there,
Iverson,
but
big run.
it clean.
And Iverson's going to have a big run, going to take him 3 wide. And, man, like you said, May's doing his best K-Mag impression, just trying to hold up this week. And I'll tell you what, I think he got Hulkenberger in the points there last week. And
he did.
Man, May's doing a great job right now. And look at this, Iverson with the Max Verstappen speed, going to get by both of them here, hopefully into turn number 1. That 24 car has some immense pace in it. But although May's not going to let him go.
You know, I've never been to a NASCAR or an F1 race, but I would totally pay to go see a bunch of F1 drivers drive some NASCARs.
Oh, that'd be so fun. I would love to see that. Those guys would be having a good time. I know Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly drove a couple stock cars here on the road course at Charlotte with RFK Racing, I believe, a couple months ago.
We got a couple of F1 drivers. Daniel Ricciardo's did a few laps, and I think Dale's one of Dale's cars, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, at Coda. Coda a couple of years ago, yeah. So, yeah, look at this, man. Mays is really pinching. He's got to be careful because that 24 car is going to get really tight under him. And, you know, any little bit of contact, that's going to do it here. And look at this, battle for second. Matt Greener is going to get to the inside here of Lucas Lyons. And now we got 2 rows of side by side. I think the 24 has got the best car here inside the top 5, but that 55 is just holding him off so much, and it's costing him a lot of time, and it's allowing Andy Kurtz to kind of pull away now, who's up about a half second lead. Right here, does it right in that 3/4 mark of the corner, and that 24 just has to get out of the gas on the bottom. Just can't hold it. Man, Mays is doing a good job, but I tell you what, Iverson and Bieber are not going to be too happy with him, getting by him. Pretty soon, it makes you think if they're going to have to get physical, move him out of the way.
Yeah, at this point, if I'm behind Kyle Mays right here, I'm getting frustrated. I'm getting angry. My blood's starting to boil because you're just becoming annoying at this point. And I really can't get by you. So yeah, I'm gonna start giving you little taps here and there, letting you know, hey, I'm behind you and I'm about to move you if you don't move yourself.
Exactly, and I think right now Iverson, he's got a better car. He just can't seem to get by him as the 55 keeps pinning him down here, and especially in 3 and 4 where the car usually is at its tightest, although Mays kind of slipped up here, and I think Iverson's finally going to get clear of him, and he does, and the 24 car moves up into 4th. Tell you what, if he hasn't burned off his tires, I think Iverson's going to have a shot maybe at this race win, because that pace in that 24 car has been really, really fast. And now it's up to see if Bieber can get by the 55 of Mays.
Yeah, now you got one down,
Mays
you got one to go.
Wall. Mays hits the wall, but he's going to hold on to that position, although Bieber's going to get to the inside. And I think Mays is going to drive it in hard here, but now Bieber's going to get to that inside. It's just going to be the question of if he can get by him. And GT Hawkins and Michael Kostick are closing up on him.
Yeah, that's one issue that Kyle Mays is really pushing on to Travis Bieber here. And he was pushing on Toby Iverson until he got by. It's just, he's slowing them up, and he's letting the other guys, and they're fighting, which is naturally going to slow them down, and you're going to invite the guys behind him, such as GT Hawkins, Michael Kostick, and Bobby Hall Jr. is a little further back, but definitely the 14 and the 8, they're going to quietly come up into that battle, and you're going to have to fight with them as well.
Yeah, just a lot of movements. A lot of just good racing all over. Although, like you said, the 55 doing his best job to kind of hold off all these guys. And man, oh man, what great racing we're seeing here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. As here comes Bieber to the inside. He's finally going to get the position after being stuck behind the 55 for about the last 15 laps, and he will. Although May's not going to go away yet. May's at the crossover, looking at the inside, and now Bieber's going to have to give him the treatment that he gave the 55 gave him. Just going to have to pin him down on the inside, carry that momentum off the corner, and I think he's going to be able to finally clear the 55 here, and he does. Here comes Hawkins as well. Look at this, Hawkins all over the back bumper of the 55 of Mays. And man, Mays gets a little bit tight there. And now Hawkins going to look down to the inside here. What can he do? Mays going to do what he's been doing all night and kind of pinching that guy on the bottom below him. But I think that car is just significantly falling off as the run goes on, and it's really affecting the handling of that car. And I'll tell you what, GT Hawkins and Michael Kostick really have some speed in that car, and they're really starting to move up through the field here. And I think if Hawkins can get enough pace, can get by. And remember, got to remember as well, we're closing up on pit stops as Hawkins gets tight underneath of them. Oh, they're going to make contact down the backstretch. Tell you what, man, these guys are getting tired of this 55. They're starting to get physical with him.
Yeah, I mean, he's just being a real nudge. He's just getting in the way. I mean, he's doing a great job at it. And, he's trying to defend. I guess his tires has fallen off. I'm not exactly sure when his last pit stop or when his last tires were changed, but he's really holding on. He's trying to save those tires, and he's just eking them out. And he clears them and hits the wall.
He put him in the wall there and finally getting him out of the way. And now May's going to lose 1, if not 2 spots. He will. And Mays falls back, but how about this up at the front for second? Tony Iverson in the 24 car up to second now, got by the 15 of Greener, and now gets by Lyons, and now has his sight focused on the 5 of Andy Kurtz, the pole sitter, who's now led the most laps in this race.
Tony Iverson really making a good stretch out of this this second stage here. He's really put the pedal down. Done really well. I guess saved his tires up, and he's just kind of moving his way through the field, and now he's hunting down Andy Kurtz.
Yeah, what great moves that we've seen from the 25 car. He is or 24, excuse me. He's really been working up through the field. And how about this? The 8 of Michael Kostek has moved up to 7. And I tell you what, the 14 of GT Hawkins and the 8 of Kostek have been really fast. The last time those two, other than Iverson, were the other 2 fastest cars on the racetrack. Look at this. Green are gonna come down to the inside of the 48 Alliance here. Not gonna be able to do anything, although Iverson running down the 5 of Kurtz, and now you got lap traffic with Prail in the 80. Gonna get out of the way luckily here, and it's gonna not really affect the 5, might affect the 24's entry, but man, the battle behind them from 3rd on back has been really intense. So once Iverson got out of that battle, he's kind of set sail. The top 2 kind of pulling away, and how about this Bieber to the outside of the 15? Where does GT Hawkins go? Hawkins gonna get really right behind the 114 here and back off of the corner. And the 15 going to get tight underneath them, especially in the wake of the 48. Now there's going to be lap traffic with the 80 car. And look at this, 5 cars under a blanket for the 3rd position, and about to have a lap car in the mix as well.
Lap car, not really an issue for the top 2. They're kind of running 1 and 1. Not really running side by side, but these guys are running side by side.
It's going to get really tight here. Look at this. Now the 15 going to get split by the 14 and the 8. 3 wide here into turn number 3. Look at this. Door banging off each other. Hawkins to the inside. Feeds a fender to the 15. Kostek gets put in the wall. The 48 going to dive down to pit lane. And Kostek going to lose a couple positions. And look at these 4 cars coming in. Oh, Hensley slides sideways into pit road. Just going to make it, I think, without speeding. And now Iverson also going to bring it down pit lane. Seems like he was very easy into the box, or into the pits here. Can't afford to miss the stall though. Everybody seems to make it just right here. The question is, who's going to have a better pit stop at the moment? Iverson 4 tires here, and I got to think Andy Kurt's going to stay out another lap. Bieber, Hawkins, and Kostek, and even Hall going to stay out. And look at that. It looks like Tony Iverson going to get out of pit lane first, but everybody behind him with way faster pit stops and way faster pit entry time, though, because Lucas Lyons right there with him as well. Hensley even gained a little bit of position, or a little bit of time. And we talked about Hensley being one of the faster cars in that first stage. Has a chance now. He's not too far behind Iverson, only about a second. Here comes the leader, Andy Kurtz in. Then Bieber in as well. And I believe Hawkins and Kostek stay out another lap. Ray also in pit, or staying out. So and Cunningham, the 08. The 08 has come in as well. So now the top 2 that were just the last lap are in. The question is, where is he going to cycle out where Tony Iverson is? Is Iverson halfway down the backstretch?
I'm thinking Tony Iverson's going to come out ahead of Andy Kurtz here. I think he's going to have that advantage of warm tires, and I think he's going to be able just to blow right by Andy Kurtz, who's going to be on cool tires as soon as he comes out.
I think he is, as here comes Iverson, full pace, going to blow by the 5 car and give Tony Iverson, going to get the lead here unless a caution comes out, as Kostek still out ahead. He has yet to make his pit stop. Hawkins is in pit road as well. Interesting to see is Kurt's going to get out of pit road here, but he's going to cycle outside the top 5 here. Does have fresher tires, and we also got to remember, Christian, these are their final sets of tires.
Yeah, but it's only one lap difference. I don't really think that's going to make huge big difference. I mean, if it was several laps later, I would kind of agree with that. But it's only 1 lap. I don't think it's going to be that detrimental. I think Tony Iverson really made the good call at pitting early, and I think he's going to end up taking the win out of this race.
Yes, it is. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens here. And man, oh man, great racing that we've seen in the strategy that has taken place. It's just been phenomenal. As Iverson gets the wall. And remember, these two pitted together. 48 of Lucas Lyons and the 24 of Tony Iverson pitted together. So this will eventually be for the race lead once Justin Ray and Brett Bieber driving into pit lane. And these guys are going to be pushing it here because there's not too many laps to go. 37 laps to go.
Like you said, this is their last set of tires. This is only, you have 30. Yeah, you do have 37 laps, but you have 37 laps to go on these tires.
27, I believe.
Or yeah, 27. Sorry,
27. Yeah.
27's a little better than 37, but they will have to. They'll still have to make these tires kind of count. If they're just going to be racing each other for these 27 laps, they're going to burn up these tires real quick. Although his 48, he's painting that line.
He sure is. And now the top three, once the 38 of Ray, who is now coming into pit row, going to get service to his 38 Chevy Camaro. Iverson will now have the lead. Then it goes Lucas Lyons. Kyle Mays will be the top three. And how about the 31 of Blake Hensley going to get back into the top five, although he's under fire from the number 5 of Andy Kurtz, who was in the lead that last time before the pit cycle started. Kurtz, though, has a lot of speed, and he's starting to work his way up inside this top 5. 2 seconds back, but a 1 lap different, or excuse me, 2 lap fresher tires. GT Hawkins has the car with the freshest tires in the field so far, or in the top 10, I should say. He only has 2 now, coming up on 3 laps. He's got about 4 lap fresher tires than everybody. Is it going to be 5 seconds worth of time though?
Definitely not. I don't think you're tires, sure, if you're, 10 laps difference, 2 laps difference, I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. I think his 5-second gap to the leader, I don't think that's going to end up getting him the win. He could definitely make it up maybe into the top 3, top 4, but I don't think it's going to net him the win, unfortunately.
Yeah, we'll have to see how much long run pace. He did have good long run pace. Just going to see how much pace does he have. Yeah, and now looking for the lead here. Lucas Lyons going to the outside of Tony Iverson for the lead, side by side, as Lyons at the 48 and the 24. And man, what 2 iconic numbers battling for the win at Charlotte Motor Speedway, none other than the 24 and the 48, side by side. Iverson on the inside of the 24, Lyons up on the 48 on the outside here, or excuse me, the inside with Iverson. And man, oh man, how about the speed out of the 48 car on this early part of the run? Lyons just going to get the lap led, but Iverson not going to give it up. Great racing into turn 1. Iverson still fighting hard on the inside, but the run on the outside going to pull the Lyons machine ahead. Lyons barely going to get there, but the 48 still on his quarter panel into turn 3. They both send it in hard. Lyons going to use that middle lane now and try to pinch the 24 out the corner. He gets tight, and the 24 creeps back again up on the inside. And these 2 battling is allowing that 55 and especially the 5 with 2 lap fresher tires to close up on them. Lyons finally going to get ahead. Can he clear the 24? Yes, he can. But the 24 with the run, the 48 goes to cover. And now Lucas Lyons has the lead at Charlotte. But Iverson fights back on the inside again, has clean under the nose. The 48 slides up the racetrack. Iverson back under him. They're still going to be side by side at the line. Give it to Iverson to lead the lap. And man, these 2 going at it here, closing up on 20 laps to go. As Andy Kurtz has made the pass for third, 2 lap fresher tires may make a difference if these 2 keep battling the way they are. Still side by side for the lead. Iverson sends it to the inside, and finally he'll get clear of the 48 as the 48 gets tight on the outside, and Tony Iverson, after a hard charging fight from Lucas Lyons, regains the lead of the race. Lyons falls back to second, but now Andy Kurtz has moved up to third, and he again has 2 lap fresher tires. Will he be able to close up?
Yeah, he's got 2 lap fresher tires, and Lucas Lyons and Tony Iverson just spent 4 or 5 laps battling each other, so they really burned up their tires. So I think this is inviting Andy Kurtz and Kyle Mays right into the picture right towards the end. This is going to be, I think, in the next 5 to 10 laps, you're going to see Andy Kurtz and Kyle Mays right on the back bumper of Lucas Lyons.
This is going to be really good as 20 laps to go from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Tony Iverson leads the way. Then it's Lucas Lyons and Andy Kurtz. The question is, how quick can Kurtz get around the 48 of Lyons here once he gets to him? Because the pace advantage is big. The question is, it seems like Iverson really has a good car, and we saw it in the last run. He went from, I believe it was 9th or 10th to 2nd, and that 24 car really is really good. Question is, the 5 with those 2 lap fresher tires, how much of an advantage is it going to be? And especially if you can get by the 48, it's only 1 car to go. The 48 taps the apron here. Should allow the 5 to get a run here. What's going to happen here? Let's see, the 5 looks down to the inside. Lions trying to cover, can't do, but he's going to pinch the 5 here into turn 3. The 5 going to get really tight underneath of him. 48 also going to drift up the racetrack here, and it looks like they're still going to be side by side. They make contact. The 48 up the racetrack. The 5 gets the position, and the 48 loses one more and allows the 55 and the 31 to close up, but almost an incident off of turn number 4.
Remember those
Great
5 to 10
save from
laps
both of them.
that I was saying? Yeah, that was more like 2 to 3.
Yeah.
That was
But now it's
incredible
1.2
speed from Andy
seconds.
Kurtz.
Kurtz with those 2-lap fresher tires really starting to make a difference, but the question is 1.2 seconds to go. That is a long, long way.
Yeah, that is a lot. That's a long time. I mean, 1.2 seconds might not sound like a lot, but for anyone who's not, maybe super into racing or hasn't watched a lot of racing, that's a large margin of time if you're in these caliber that these drivers are.
Yeah, and even though it's 2-lap fresher tires, which, does make a little bit of a difference, it's just, man, 1.2 seconds is a long way to go. I'll tell you what, GT Hawkins in that 14 car, those 4-lap fresher tires have really started to work. He has ran these guys down, and he's working on the 15 of Matt Grenier here. And these guys, he's just kind of stuck. He's got to make passes more on the outside. I just think the inside is really hard to make a pass on. And right now, with 15 laps to go in this race, the 14's got good speed. Like you said, with that tire advantage, he might have a shot at top 3. I don't know if he'll have a chance at a win unless a caution comes out, which with the way these guys are racing is possible. But right now, the 14 got a lot of pace, but 4 seconds back in the lead. I just don't think there's too many cars to pass to really get himself a chance to win. But, man, Tony Iverson doing a heck of a job.
Yeah, I think if a caution came out right now, I think Andy Kurtz would be just in his glory because he knows he has fresher tires. He didn't burn them up trying to battle, Lucas Lyons there. He knows that Tony Iverson's tires are maybe a little damaged, although Tony Iverson is still pulling out time. Since the last time we mentioned that 1.2 seconds, it's now gone up to 1.6, rising to 1.7 seconds. So Tony Iverson, I don't know, he must put some glue on those tires or something.
Yeah, man, Grenier got the wall there. I think battling with GT Hawkins made a little bit of contact. And now the 114 of Bieber going to get the lead. Grenier just going to lose the nose in the dirty air. Oh, the 55 of Mays gets the wall. That allows Hawkins to get a run and get by him. Move GT Hawkins up into 5th in his season debut, who started last in the field, although he does have some right side damage from getting up into the outside wall. That 48 car, Lucas Lyons did a great job battling Tony Iverson, but man, he's really starting to fall off. Tell you what, if we had a caution, man, GT Hawkins has a really good shot with the tire advantage he has. You see how fast he is getting up through this field. It's just only 13 laps to go. I don't know how much longer he's going to have. And how about, Tony Iverson, 2-lap older tires, man, the pace in that 24 car, after even getting involved in that wreck on the first lap of the race, what speed he's got is, contact between the 48 and the 14. The 14 wasting no time to get by, put the bumper to the back of the 48.
As we're seeing, the 14...
Oh, no, go ahead. Sorry. Hawkins going to get to the inside of the 48 of Lyons here. And, man, battling these cars all starting to group back together like they were at the beginning of the pit cycle. Man, aggressive racing, that caution. I know right now Tony Iverson's hoping for no caution.
Yeah, as you said, the 14 of GT Hawkins has just some incredible long pace speed and strategy and everything because he can just make those tires last super long. It's just kind of just keeping those fresh tires, and look, he's just drove right around. I wouldn't say right around Lucas Lyons, but he didn't make it too difficult.
And then almost cut him off there off of turn number 2, but man, the 14 just really good pace here on the racetrack right now. Second fastest car on the racetrack, other than the 24 of Tony Iverson, who now has a 2.5-second lead over the field. Man, what great pace from the 24 car. Right now, he's hoping that these guys keep it clean and green here to the end, as when he comes across the line, only 10 laps to go from the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Tony Iverson's putting about a quarter of a second on Andy Kurtz a lap, which is absolutely insane.
Impressive.
That's a lot of time to put on each lap. 2.5 tenths.
Yeah, we were making jokes earlier with Formula One, man. He really does look like Max Verstappen out here with those lap times. My goodness.
He is, he's leading by multiple seconds, not multiple tenths, multiple seconds.
He sure is, and man, great pace here. And I'll tell you what, good battling here for 6th on the racetrack. Grenier and the 48 of Lyons, and then I think Bieber just got by them, and then you got Kyle Mays in the 55, who's also closed up to these guys as well. These guys racing hard this entire race, man, and almost getting into each other a couple times. Comes Grenier to the inside. All the Lions going to throw a block here. Grenier's going to have to almost go into the apron. And the 15 of Grenier going to get to the inside of Lions. Going to have to back out of it from out getting into him here. And now 15 going to lose the nose underneath him. Although, going to keep it right there with him. Going to have to side draft him down the backstretch and pull up to him. No, he's going to have to get back behind him. Tell you what, man, if there's going to be a caution, it's going to come from these guys because these guys are racing really, really hard. And they're all seem to struggle with their race cars at the moment. Grenier going to try once again to get to the outside of the 48, although the 48 going to try to shut the door on him here off the corner. Now the 15 going to give him a nice little push down the backstretch. Where does he go? He'll sit behind him once more, and I think the 15 has a little more pace than the 48. Just can't seem to find a way to get by. I think he's going to have to get to the outside right here, get to the right rear. Seems like that's the best way to make a spot. Tell you what, Christian, 24 car, I mean, he's out there. Unless a caution, I don't see him losing this race.
No, he could. I mean, he could drop his pace to the same pace these guys, or even slower. And honestly, with only 6 laps to go, he'll be golden right now.
Yeah, he's looking to cruise to his second win of the season for winning the first race of the year. And I'll tell you what, man, these guys bobbing and weaving down the straightaway. Grenier barely going to get by the 48 of Lions. Lions has fallen from grace here at the beginning of the run, was battling for the lead, and now is back to the 7th position. Grenier up to 6th. In the top 5 goes Iverson, Kurtz, Hensley, Hawkins, Bieber. And I'll tell you what, man, Andy Kurtz has really kind of fallen off as this run has gone on. And Blake Hensley, who was by far the fastest car in the first stage, has closed up to 2nd. And is closing up to 2nd and trying to get that 2nd position away.
5 laps to go in this, and Tony Iverson with a 3.5 second lead on P2
Insane.
And P3. Wow.
Man, what great pace that 24 car has had ever since the damage got it all fixed. I mean, man, that car is stellar on long runs. And only 5 laps to go left in this run. Hensley almost gets him to the outside wall. But he's closing up to the 5 of Andy Kurtz, who started on pole and I think has led a lot of laps. Has for sure led a lot of laps in this race. I don't know if he's led the most, but man, the 5, good short run car, but the long run pace just doesn't seem to be there for Andy Kurtz here. There's now 4 laps to go, 45 laps led, but just going to come up 1 spot short unless we get a chance at a caution here, as Hensley really starting to close up on these guys.
Blake Hensley only leading 25 laps. We can take a quick look at Tony Iverson, 21 laps. So yeah, Andy Kurtz definitely leading the most laps out of 45, but then splitting the other, a few between Blake Hensley, and I know GT Hawkins has quite a few there, but yeah, really Tony Iverson really making just an exceptional recovery from that initial damage he got.
Yes, he is, and he's hoping to keep this clean and green for the next 2 laps until he takes the white flag. And there's battling still all over this racetrack. Kostek going to get by Lucas Lyons. Lyons falling back to 8th and into the clutches of Kyle Mays in this battle for 2nd. Still heating up here, and man, there's just great battling all over this racetrack. And man, oh man, 2 laps to go here off of turn 4 for Tony Iverson in the 24 car. What a race this has been for him. Got involved in a lap 1 crash on the start of the race, and now has driven up to the lead to a 4-second lead, and only a lap and a half to go. He's praying for a half lap more of green flag racing, as there is racing all over this racetrack, but just nowhere to be found for cautions. Oh, Iverson gets up, or excuse me, Hensley gets up into the outside wall, battling the 5 of Kurtz, and off of turn number 4, going to keep it green, white flag. 1 more lap to go from Charlotte Motor Speedway, and it's Tony Iverson in full control, a 4-second lead over Andy Kurtz in the 5. Hensley falling back in 3rd, and man, oh man, what a story drive for the 24 car. Going to get his 2nd win of the season and half a lap to go into turn 3. He won the season opener at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and what a statement drive for the driver with the number 24. And off of turn 4, Tony Iverson going to get a second win of the season, and it's going to come in race 9 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Tony Iverson winning by 4.5 seconds, 4.6 seconds to be exact. Wow, that's a commanding lead from Tony Iverson, making his way back from a wreck in the beginning.
Yeah, what a win for Tony Iverson. Domination from the 24 car at the end of that race. Andy Kurtz comes home second. Blake Hensley third. GT Hawkins going to hold on for fourth. Travis Bieber in fifth. Matt Grenier going to hold on in sixth. And Michael Kostick seventh. Lucas Lyons eighth. Justin Ray up in ninth. And Kyle Mays up in 10th. And the 24 car come down the front stretch and believe he's going to burn it down here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, right out in NASCAR's backyard. And man, I mean, nothing but a stellar drive, I would say, Christian, for this 24 car at the end.
Absolutely just gorgeous drive. I mean, he was able to just kind of, well, he was able to hold those tires on, but now they're gone. But he's using up the rest of the tires that he did not use on his other stints because he was just kind of, he was driving perfectly. I mean, if I had to give someone just kind of an exceptional, just a textbook drive and how to do it, this is what I would show them from Tony Iverson.
Absolutely, absolutely. Great win there from Tony Iverson. Appreciate everybody watching. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break to talk to your top 3 and your race winner, Tony Iverson. So stick around for post-race interviews, and we'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count after 37.
Oh! Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club. Back live here after the conclusion of race 9 of the Overtake iRacing League Xfinity Series here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway with Tony Iverson, your winner. But before we get to Tony, who's going to be celebrating victory lane, talk to our third place finisher, Blake Hensley. Blake Hensley, Alec Martinez, Christian Hill in the BC booth. You got a comment, buddy?
Hey, what's going on?
Well, man, you had a good car at the beginning of the first stage. Came in, did a great, looks like seemed was going to be a good tire strategy. Then got caught up there with Daniel Cunningham and rebounded it through to looks like a third place finish, man. Take us through your race and how it went.
That was a race winning car. That wasn't just a good stage run. That was a good race. That should have been a win. This one's left a pretty sour taste. I had the car to do it. I had the track position to do it, and I don't know, it's maybe controversial, but I'm gonna say a pretty controversial call on race control's behalf on that little incident there. That's just my opinion. I haven't really seen it yet, but yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So it sucks, man. Third's cool. Could have got second. I took a little bit early pit stop trying to get some track position. I saw a big wad of cars in front of me, and once I knew we could make it, I knew I could save good enough to get myself back up there. Just wish I had a little bit more time. I probably could have got Andy there. Just with 2 to go, I thought I can't get him on the bottom. I'm sitting here just running in his tire tracks. I'm getting him just too slow. So tried the top side, and then I just blew every bit of time I made up to him. So sucks. We'll try again next week. But yeah, that should have been a win.
Yeah, you had a really good car. Now, I want to focus to next week, like you said. Richmond Raceway, a much shorter racetrack than here, going to be high on tire wear. Do you feel like maybe you can get redemption for this week?
I'm eligible for redemption any week. I've not really had the fortune of putting up the results for it, but this car's capable of winning or running in the top 3, top 5 every week, and it's just not came to fruition yet. We're starting to make a kind of a rebound as we go on. But yeah, I go for redemption every week. They all hate me, so that's what I want to do more than anything is just put that car in victory lane so they can all just cry about it. So that's my MO, and that's what I'm going to stick to.
Well, I like the confidence, Blake. Well, we appreciate your time, buddy. Is there anybody you want to thank for this run tonight?
Yeah, shout out to my team over at Cornerstone Motorsports. All the guys that ran our Xfinity race tonight. Myself, Drew Prohl, Cody Anderson, James Silver's our crew chief tonight. He helped me out there a little bit, gave me a few little pep talks, confidence boosters throughout that race. Kept my head in the game. Our competition director, Mr. GT, he was pretty cool to have him here for Tuesday nights. Justin, all the rest of the fellas. Big shout out to my sponsor and employer, Smyrna Ready Mix and Hollingshead Mixer Corporation, for quality concrete and unmatched service. Call 270-834-8096 if you're in the Glasgow, Kentucky area. I know nobody else is besides myself, but if you want a fast race car driver and an even faster mixer operator, that's the number. And when you call us, you call, we haul. Big shout out to everybody here at the league. It's fun to get to race these guys every week, and the more we go, the better we get. This Xfinity series is by far the top series. It's kind of funny how that carries over from real life. It's almost like a good car produces good racing.
Crazy.
It's crazy to think. And then you guys for an awesome broadcast. It's awesome to be able to share with everybody and see the awesome broadcast y'all put on every week. And yeah, it's been fun. Not real fun, but we'll give it another go next week.
All right, we appreciate your time, Blake. Again, congratulations on third place run, and look forward to seeing you next week out at Richmond Raceway. So have yourself a good night.
You too, Alec. Thank you, bud.
It's Blake Hensley, the third place finisher, and we'll move it down to second, where Christian Hill is standing with Andy Kurtz.
Andy Kurtz, you had a roller coaster of a race tonight. You were up in P1 for a while. You dropped down to P2. You're fighting there with Blake Hensley towards the end. Walk us through your race, run us through your race, and how that went for you.
Yeah. I mean, a pretty quiet race for me overall, which was really good. So definitely a good run. Led a lot of laps. Just couldn't really. I got a little bit better as the race went on a long run, but just couldn't quite figure it out. Especially to someone like Tony, he was really quick on a long run. So congrats to him. He was lights out, especially that last run. I was hoping with pretty much caught me when he pit. Then I pit the lap or two after. So I was hoping with having newer tires that would be to my advantage at the end of that run, but I think I burned him up too much just trying to pass everyone in between us. And he was gone. So congrats to him. Really glad he got that one.
Yeah, Tony, I mean, it was just on rails tonight. But you had strategy was tonight was just a huge thing tonight. You put it on pole. You were starting first there tonight. But we had a bit of an issue there in the beginning of the race. We ended up missing it here in the booth. Can you kind of talk us through what happened in your perspective?
Yeah, I don't really know. It happened behind me, but I think we just got a little bunched up on the start and just had a chain reaction. So I think that's all that happened. So it was before we even got to turn one. So it's all good. Sometimes just that typical thing. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah, well, you had an exceptional race, finished P2, started pole, and it was a good race to watch. You know the drill. Do you have anyone to shout out?
Yeah, man. Yeah, thank you guys at Vspeed doing all of our broadcasts for us. It's been a really awesome season league so far. So looking forward to what's to come here. Want to thank my teammates at Bandits and C2 and Alex, Dave, everyone for putting this league on for us.
All right, Andy. Well, again, congratulations on your P2, and love to talk to you next week.
Thanks, man.
That was
Andy
Andy
Kurtz.
Kurtz. Oh, yeah, that was Andy
Yeah, Andy
Kurtz.
Kurtz. Sorry. Yeah, Andy Kurtz. Good run. Started on the pole. Led the most laps as well. So going to help him for points. And going to go down to victory lane and talk to your winner, Tony Iverson, Alec Martinez, Christian Hill in the VC booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Hey, I'm here, man.
Well, man, that last run, statement victory. We know you got caught up in that wreck early, and it seemed like you were going to be in trouble. The cautions kind of fell your way, and man, once you start getting up to the field, man, that car was just seemed to be on rails.
Yeah, I didn't know what was gonna happen. I was so angry in the beginning of the race with the initial start, I should say, and I ended up with 3.5 minutes of damage, and I thought for sure that that was gonna be it. And you know, it seemed I had 3 chances to repair, and I was able to do a little over a minute each time. And when I got back out there, I had to pass a lot of cars, and I was passing cars, but still catching everybody. And I was like, man, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing because it's working, you know. And then we made it to that final pit stop, and I was underneath for second or for first, coming from second, and I was like, I just can't screw this up, and I think I got this. And yeah, I just tried to keep my mind on racing the track, and um, it just fell my way. I had no idea that could happen from the way it started, but I'm happy to be up here with y'all.
Yeah, man, it seemed to be just a controlling win there once you got the clean air. I know next week, I know you won it, I believe the season opener in Atlanta, and now you get your second win of the season. Obviously, going to be good for playoff points and stuff. Next week, Richmond, short track, high tire wear racetrack. How do you feel about the chances going back to back next week?
Richmond's not my number one track, but as far as the short tracks go, I don't mind it too much. So, I mean, I tend to do better if there's some long runs there, which is hard to come by. But I mean, if any series can do it, I think it's the OiL Xfinity series. So I do look forward to checking that race out. And I know a lot of my teammates are pretty good there, so I'll probably take some cues from them, and we'll see how it goes. But I'm just happy to get this one. This is actually my first league win outside of super speedway racing in the Xfinity car, so I'm pretty stoked right now.
That's good, man. That's good to hear. Well, we appreciate your time here again. Congratulations on the win. Does anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to thank my wife. She's not feeling too good right now, and still took over giving our son a bath so I could come out here and start the race on time. And I also want to thank High Side and High Peak on the car. Want to thank Bandit for letting me run with them here in OiL and hang out with them during the race. And I want to thank OiL itself, and then I want to thank Vspeed. You guys put on great broadcast, and I look forward to checking this one out later.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate your time, Tony. Again, congratulations on the win, and hopefully we'll be talking to you next week again out at the Richmond Raceway.
Heck yeah, thank you guys. Let's go. Win.
Love the jubilation there from them. Awesome for Tony Iverson. Well, man, Christian, great to come here and broadcast with you, man. Appreciate your time. But let's see our race results there. And man, honestly, that great racing all day. That end, man, once Tony Iverson got up to the front, it really was just smooth sailing for him.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, he just went. He like I said, he was on rails. He was just absolutely incredible with the 4.2 second lead finish. I mean, that's astronomical.
It really was. And how about this? 3 cautions, 13 lean changes throughout the evening here of 120 laps. Tony Iverson, the winner. Andy Kurtz comes home second. Blake Hensley comes home in third. Fourth was GT Hawkins making his first career start here from 20th to 4th. Great opening showing for the 14 car. Then Travis Bieber in 5th. Matt Grenier comes home in 6th. Michael Kostek in 7th. Lucas Lyons 8th. Justin Ray comes home 9th. And Kyle Mays comes home in 10th.
Finishing P11, we have Daniel Cunningham finishing right in front of Brett Bieber, who's P12. Then we have Dustin Reinstettel finishing P13. P14 is going to be Bobby Hall Jr. P15 finished the last one, finishing on the lead lap is going to be Craig Schroeder. Then we have P16 is going to be Michael Cole finishing 1 lap down. Drew Pohl is going to be 17th, finishing 4 laps down. Then we have Alex Penn, 13 laps down. 19th, we have Tom Hall, 20 laps down, and then Cody Anderson, who had to retire early, P20 with 93 laps down.
Yeah, not a great showing for those guys, but we know that they'll be up and running up at the front next week at Richmond Raceway. Well, Christian, honor and a pleasure to come down here and broadcast the Overtake iRacing League. Awesome racing. Congratulations to Tony Iverson for a dominant statement win there from the Charlotte Motor Speedway race 9. Appreciate everybody at OiL for having myself, Alec Martinez, and Christian Hill, my producer and co-commentator here tonight, for having us. Awesome racing all week. So we appreciate everybody who watched. And again, remember, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the Vspeed Racing channel and tune in from every day of the week to catch some sort of iRacing action. Man, oh man, it's been awesome to see how good Vspeed's been doing. Again, appreciate all of you guys watching. I'm Alec Martinez and Christian Hill as well, signing off here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Congratulations to Tony Anderson, and we'll see you guys next week from the Richmond Raceway.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin there cannot count out to 37.
Oh! Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Swack.
A push from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man, Winston Auto Club.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.